Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. And you see, this is going to be the review for Twenties. So this episode started out with Haddie going by the place to pick up the orders for the different cappuccinos, coffees, and teas and whatnot, right? So she put in the order to have it picked up, and that's a smart move for her. Y'all know how she is. So she went in there, and this time she was greeted by Idina. I looked up the person, and they actually put her name up there because the first week that it was up there, I don't remember seeing her name, and I probably overlooked it if it was up there, but it's Idina. I don't know if you pronounce it like Adina or it's just the way she said it was so fast. That's why I instantly thought that she said Adina. But yeah, sounds like Adina. But anyway, Adina was the one who was there, and I guess she does it all. And she ended up giving her the order, and she was like, I like your name. It's vintage. And so Hattie was looking at her like, okay, girl, thank you. And she still ain't catching the hint that Idina like her, and I'm pretty sure she don't care at this point because she doesn't strike me as somebody who willingly would want to date someone who looks like her. You know, if I mean, when I was growing up and these terms were thrown out there, the two of them were easily classified as studs, and that's how they look. So I'm guessing that that's what they were. Well, are I have no idea, but not trying to step on any toes. But yeah, she goes for the more feminine type. So I don't know how that's going to eventually go. Hopefully one day she will just get over that and just step into a real situation because she stays following behind these heifers who are literally straight, and she just is there for a good time. And I mean, that's on their end, not for her. But anyway, y'all, so they having a conversation, and this is when she actually finds out that old girl did a write up on the show at one point in time for this like major publication in I don't know if it's for the West Coast or whatever. If it's called Best Coast uh, uh, News or something like that. Anyway, some kind of publication or whatever. I don't know if it's just for like the West Coast, if it's for just California or whatever, but it's a big deal. Even Haddie was like, wow, okay, so if you did that write up, why are you working here? And you know what I'm saying? You're looking like you got to do what you got to do, and that's what she's doing. So she went on by her business and left. Cool. Y'all tell me why Marie is at work and there's a meeting going on that is actually about to start. And she looks nervous, and old boy looks nervous. I think his name is Ben. And I told y'all I cannot understand if he is supposed to be gay or if it's supposed to be some sort of a beard situation with the random white woman that they like to call. That killed me that day. But I think he's gay. And they are fearful, or at least he's mainly fearful, that they're gonna lose their jobs. And like almost everybody in the room feels the same way, even though most of the people in that room are white people. Not that it matters. I'm just, trying to give you a visualization of what's going on, especially if you haven't seen the show. And they're like the only two black people, and their views, at least hers, are not even respected at this point. So he ends up making the announcement, the guy who lives for the black guy. He makes an announcement that, a merger went through, everything is fine, and he could tell that the tension was thick in the room, and he tried to make a joke talking about half of the people would be fired, and then he was like, I'm just joking, everybody's safe, but I got a raise, so that means my job is up for grabs, and look to your left and your right and all that, and that's the person who you're going to be duking it out with in order to try to get my job. So after the meeting was over with, they ended up going for a little walk, and they were talking, and they were just like, it's going to be crazy for us to be going up against each other because we're the only two black people there. And he's just like, just made the best man win. And so she looking at him like, you tried it, but he was like, well, you know what I mean. But y'all, he's shady. He is very shady. And I was hoping that it wouldn't come to this, but early on, he's shady, and you'll see why later on. So anyway, Nia is at her yoga studio, and she's finished class. And so, what's her name? Haddie was supposed to meet and uh, be there for the class as well. I think all three of them were supposed to be there, and I guess that's their way of getting their workout in, and they're getting into their meditative states and all that stuff, and bond at the same time. But of course, Hattie is doing a lot, so she can't just be at everybody's beck and call anymore because she out here working, y'all, and thank goodness. So anyway, she came in and she apologized, and one of the people that was working out, meditating and all that stuff, doing the yoga, she rolled up on Nia and was like, don't I know you from somewhere? And so she thought it might have been, nowhere important or whatever. And then she was like, no, I know you from somewhere. And then something jogged her memory, and it was from something that she'd acted in. So we find out that she used to act and all this other stuff. And the girl was like a fan, like for real. And she asked for a picture and all that. Y'all, of course, here comes Haddie being thirsty and offered to take the picture and did the most when she was doing that. And then she ended up trying to have a little conversation with the girl and put her number in the girl's phone. And I'm just like, girl, can you stop? Can you stop? So Haddie is really out here trying to make it seem like, oh, well, I really like your shoes. This is what she's telling the girl that she took the pictures of. She was like, I really like your shoes. They dope. And she was like, oh, they're brand new. And so she gonna make it seem like she is this expert at keeping shoes clean. And that was her way to segue into getting, giving that girl her number and all this other stuff. Y'all, she ain't worked on no screenplay. She ain't wrote nothing. She ain't did nothing. And I mean, outside of her, doing her job, she's done nothing. And I'm like, girl, you over here trying to make it seem like you really want this life. You really need to be heard. And these are valid things that do need to happen in real life and on this show, of course. But you're not doing anything. And you have all these resources at your fingertips and you're not even using them. So girl, I'd be looking like, I don't want to hear no excuses from you. I would not want to hear no excuses. And Marie got onto her about that because she asked her how's everything going, and she was like, I'm busy with work and I haven't had a chance to do nothing. You making up all these excuses, ain't nobody trying to hit it. So she took it upon herself to sign up for these classes that were supposed to be like trial, that it's a trial basis for like a certain amount of time, and you stream it online, and it basically tells you what you need to do. And it's kind of, for her, she's making it seem like it's kind of a refresher course or whatever, and she just wants to make sure that she can really get in the space she needs to get into so that she can get motivated and do what she needs to do so she can get back out there. So her first attempt to do this, excuse me, I'm over here got the hiccups and things randomly out of nowhere. Excuse me. I don't know why I do that like that. Anyway, so she is actually trying to watch online this man tell you what you need to do to get in the zone and all this other stuff. And she's at the house, at Marie's house, and Marie's man is doing the most in the kitchen and she can't concentrate. And my first thought was, girl, why you ain't got no earbuds or something in? Like, you already know you in these people's house and you trying to do stuff. Ain't no telling what's gonna pop off. You might hear them trying to have sex again. So you're not gonna be able to have your full attention where it needs to be. So he ends up doing the most. He's trying to blend stuff. Like, he's doing a lot. Anyway, she's working from home. And, basically she's on call so she can kind of do what she wants to do unless Ida ends up sending her messages and is like, go do this and go do that. So as of right now, she's being able to do what she needs to do as far as her actual career goes, something that she feels is going to further her career. So that's what she's trying to do. So she ends up going various places. She done went out into a field somewhere. I don't know if it's on a campus or if it was another place, a park or something. She tried to go out there and do it. Kids kicking soccer balls around. She ended up going to a library. She got distracted there because she saw some man next to her typing. And like he was setting it off. And I was like, what is he typing? But then she got nosy like me and wanted to know what he was typing. And she done took the earbuds out her ear and asked him what was he typing, because she couldn't help but notice certain words he was using. And he looked at her at first like, why is you touching me and being nosy? And then he said, my manifesto. And she was like, what? What is that? So that man was doing the most. He's one of those extreme, like, political heads. So in the meantime, in between time, Maria's getting ready for work or something, I guess. And her man, they're at the house in their room talking. And he decides to do something thoughtful for her because she's always in her feelings about her state of mind and how everything is at her job. And he bought her as many books as he could find that were by Black authors that would motivate her and give her inspiration and all this other stuff. And, you know, as far as what she's trying to do. And she thought that that was so sweet and thoughtful or whatever. And he just, you know, gave her a bag full of books. And so she's going to read these things and, you know, it's by powerful Black women. So she's like impressed that he even thought enough to do that. So she here for it and she's going to start reading those books. Nia seems to be kind of stirring up some old emotions or whatever are stirring up in Nia. So it seems as though she's doing like a vision board and putting some stuff together. And, you know, she put a lot of stuff on the back burner. She is very unhappy doing yoga. Her first love and the thing that she is passionate about is actually acting. She goes out on a date with Big Boy's character. His name is Tristan on here. It's funny, I have a friend named Tristan. Well, two friends named Tristan, a guy and a girl. But anyway, his name is Tristan on here, and she finds out that he has a weed business as well outside of photography, and he likes to grow it, and like he likes all aspects of it. So she was trying to figure out what that was about. And the only reason why she found it out seems to me like when he was going to like rub her down, he was massaging her feet and all this other stuff, and he had CBD oil, and she was like, this isn't weed that you're putting on me, is it? And, you know, he had to kind of explain to her, you know, this is a good business. It makes, you know, my money too. I enjoy doing both of the things. I'm passionate about this. And that's when the conversation came into play about, you know, what is she actually passionate about? Because he thought that she was passionate about yoga. She really does seem like she is. I thought that was her passion until this episode. So now we learned that she was into acting. So I was like, well, no wonder the three of them are so close. They are really closely connected in that world from different sides of it. So I was like, okay, well, that's cool. Y'all, so Haddie is finally going somewhere and acting as if she is going to make time to do some writing. And of course, while she's in the middle of doing that, the heifer, Lorraine, calls, texts, or whatever out of nowhere and is trying to get her to link up. Now, she is actually in that spot that she normally gets the coffee and tea and all that stuff from, trying to have a moment to herself to go on ahead and type up this stuff. So she texts her something, you know, wild enough for her to leave out. So while she's leaving, Idina is walking in. And I mean, she is just so like, she's like this. She don't see nobody to even be like, what's up or nothing. And Idina sees her, of course. And so she looking like, you know, she kind of looked back. Then by the time she went in the building, she didn't see where she went, unless we didn't see that part somehow. But I think she went in the building. So anyway, Old girl Lorraine was outside and trying to pull her away from writing, and Haddie read her. And I wish she had stuck to her guns, but she didn't. And she was like, every time, well, I'm not gonna get to that part yet. I mean, wait, because that was kind of the end, y'all. So anyway, she's trying to write. Everybody keeps distracting her. Literally every time she's trying to do anything, she get distracted. So then I think this time when she got distracted, Ida B texted her and was like, dry cleaning now. So I'm talking about she really finally had a moment where she was being focused. She had so much focus and she was actually about to start really trying to write. And then here everybody go. So anyway, she went and got Ida B's dry cleaning, brought it back to the office and put it up. And then she ended up talking to Ida B for a few minutes, and she started spouting off the stuff that the person on that video was talking about. She was like, what you talking about, a happy place? She was like, I've been trying to find my happy place, but all these things have been popping up and I can't do nothing. And Ida B had to let her know, I ain't got no happy place. I just write. Like, what is you talking about? Where'd you get this from? And she kind of tried to tell her, and she was just like, nah. If you're going to be a writer, you just write. Ain't nobody got time for no happy place. Ain't no happy place. So she went on by her business. Y'all, tell me why Marie is at this function that a lot of people are from her job or whatever. I don't know what it is, but all of them are there. And so she's trying to get a leg up on that position. So she's trying to play up. I think his name is Zach. I might have that wrong. I'm trying to remember these people's names because he's not even going to be in any episodes like that. I think he's going to be in one more random episode. But the job is some kind of VP position that he had that, you know, he's upgraded from since. And so she's seen him. Her husband has come to the event or whatever he is to her. His name is Chuck. Chuck then came with her to the event, and tell me why, before they even get in the door, she's reading these books and she's becoming empowered and you know, she's talking to Chuck and she mad and she talking about some, I shouldn't have to give him a hand job for him to just pay attention to me or something like that. And he was like, because we know how much you hate doing that. I was like, oh my gosh, no, like they don't do nothing. And I might be right. And you gonna see in a minute why. So anyway, she goes into the event. She zeroes in on Zach. And old boy is over there being the guy who I keep telling y'all, I think he is gay. I think he's gay. But he confused me. Like last episode, he was talking about men one minute, then women. I guess he bi. I don't know what's going on. I just want to know. But anyway, like for certain, for certain, I'm all fitness. But anyway, so I was just like, what is going on here? He over there laughing it up, high-fiving, and you know old boy already like him. Because he's a man. And he is using him to his advantage, but he is fine with being used because it's going to catapult his career. So that's just not something that he even cares about at this point. He's just trying to do what he got to do to get where he's trying to get. So she is trying to interject and, you know, and he was talking to her like, oh, well, you know, you should have showed up at this place. And so she was like, what are you talking about? I didn't know anything about that. And come to find out, instead of this man sending individual messages to everybody or calling everybody individually to see if they wanted to show up to this place, wherever he was, he just sat up here and sent a message to Ben, and told him to basically extend the invitation to her, see if she wanted to go. And he gonna make up a lie talking about she didn't want to go, she was busy or whatever. So on the spot, because she didn't want to, you know, seem all, I'm an emotional woman and how dare you lie to me and lie on me like I didn't want to be there. You're trying to do this to me, because she's gonna look like a fool. And you already know, even though she would have been right, she would have still came off as wrong. So anyway, she was just like, oh, well, you know, I had a dinner, a previous engagement, some kind of dinner. She said she had to be at line or whatever. And then when old boy was gone, she was like, really, this is what we do? And he was like, I know what it looks like, but that's not what it is. And I'm like, yes, it is. crabs in a barrel, and you are doing the most. So anyway, y'all, all in all, at the end of this episode, old girl ended up hindering Haddie once again by saying to her that, what's wrong with me pulling you away from what you're doing? You're on somebody's futon couch. Like, she was reading. I was like, you did not have to read. Because Haddie was like, why is it every time that I start getting my life together, here you come at distracting me? And it's true. And I'm like, girl, it's true. Both of y'all know it's true. And I'm like, why are you allowing her to do that to you? You already have a job. You are lucky that this heifer even gave you this job. And you probably are going to be well beyond where you need to be if you focus. You ain't wrote nothing. She ain't even wrote the first sentence good. And she's sitting up here entertaining this heifer who is only using her until she find a man that she wants. Because she is not even sexually fluid. She is just playing around with her, getting what she wants while she getting it. And then, just getting it while the getting is good. And so once she said that, old girl was in her feelings, and then she basically apologized. She was like, I love you, I love you. And then Lorraine was like, I know. And then she drove off, and they're going somewhere. And I'm just like, girl, they're going to like a whole nother part of California to like get away. And I'm like, girl, you're so dumb. I'm so tired. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this review. I'll be back later on with a thoughts video and possibly something else, but we'll see. Anyway, y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.